So I had about 8,000 hours in CSGO and I thought I'm pretty good at this game.
What?
PS2 released and I just didn't play it. A few years later I came back thinking, yeah, this should be fine. Next thing I know, I'm getting Xanthars peaked by 15-year-olds on white monsters and sitting here wondering if I've officially become an unk. So obviously, instead of accepting reality, I did what any grown man would do in my situation. I asked ChatGPT for help. But somehow, it actually worked. After eating bullets for a couple of games, I spoke to my personal coach, ChatGPT. I needed to know what I was doing wrong, not just to improve, but to save some pride. What he explained was simple but brutal. CS2 is a game built on fundamentals: aim, movement, game sense, timing, and team play. But there's another aspect as well, and one thing that people always overlook. It's mindset. I had an idea. If I just shoot people in the head before they shoot me, I'll dominate. So I decided to start working on my aim, and ChatGPT pointed me in the direction of aim labs. I set the game up to mimic my CS2 settings, matching my resolution and dialing in my sensitivity. Once everything felt just right, I jumped into a playlist called the Micro Method. At first, it almost felt therapeutic, calm, relaxing, and I actually enjoyed it. And then the competitive side kicked in, and yeah. After grinding aim labs for a couple of days and armed with my brand new S+ tier aiming badge, my confidence was absolutely thriving. I hopped straight back into FaceIT, fully convinced I was about to officially go pro in CS2. So it was back to the drawing board. I had to start watching my own games, but to learn to review a demo is more work than you actually think. A major point in reviewing demos is that you learn a lot more from your deaths than you do from your kills. Here, I have perfect information that everyone is out mid. I get my kills, but instead of falling back and being happy with the round, this is the type of greed that they talk about in the Bible.
Oh my god!
Another great tip is to actually watch the enemy's POV. Sometimes you learn more from watching an enemy kill you than you do killing an enemy. And then, something really special happened. See, this is not mere wins. This is revenge for every time I got destroyed by those scum. After reviewing my demos and talking with ChatGPT, I realized why I sometimes play like a demon and other times play like a choir boy. The main issue was simple. I was shooting while moving. CS2's engine really rewards accuracy, and if you're moving when you shoot, you're basically handicapping yourself. So I started focusing a lot more on counter-strafing and crosshair placement. Counter-strafing is when you tap the opposite movement key at the exact moment you shoot, so you stop instantly and your shot is accurate. Another big thing ChatGPT pushed me to work on was crosshair placement. If your crosshair is already where the enemy is likely to appear, you don't need crazy flicks. You're just more consistent, and consistency wins games. On days I was in rhythm, all of this happened automatically. On days when I wasn't, I played terribly. That's when I found refrag. Refrag analyzes your games, tracks your important data, and gives you really good practice modes that actually make improvements easier. I'm not sponsored by refrag at all. I just generally think it's a great tool, and according to my AI analysis, it played a big role in helping me improve. Even though I was losing, I could hit clips like this one. So I had proof of concept. I knew I had a mechanical ceiling that was very high, and the aim training was doing its work. However, the mental part was lacking. I noticed I was tilting a lot, and I needed to calm down. So I sat back down at the drawing table with my coach, and this is what he had to say. I took that advice and I actually ran with it, and that turned out to be the final missing puzzle piece for me. Instead of tilting, I started analyzing. Instead of complaining, I started learning from my mistakes, and suddenly, everything just clicked. My ELO skyrocketed to where I am now, 3055. That's an 1100 ELO gain in under 10 weeks. This video is about how online tools can help you develop skills in ways that weren't really possible before. I've only briefly touched on some of the puzzle pieces here, but there's a lot more going on under the surface. This approach won't work for everyone, but I do offer personalized improvement plans for CS2. If that's something you're interested in, you can check the links in my bio. So to wrap it up, CS2 is actually a very simple game at its core. If you're better than your opponents, you'll get rewarded. It's all about doing the simple things really, really well. All of the data in this video is verifiable. You can look up my FaceIT profile yourself if you want to double check it. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. If you want to see more of me, follow me on Twitch. I do live breakdowns and continue my FaceIT grind there. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.